Angelo. When you learn, teach, and when you get, give. Welcome to Conversations with Verdel Jones. I'm your host, Verdel Jones. Being an educator at heart, this show is dedicated to sharing information that's informative and enlightening. And remember, in the words of Maya Angelou, when you learn, teach, and when you get, give. We are going to have an awesome show today. We're going to have some fun today. But before we do that, I want to let you know that you can see past episodes of Conversations with Verdel Jones on my YouTube channel, and that's Deli Teach, D-E-L-I-T-A-C-H. And also you can follow me at Deli Teach, D-E-L-I-T-A-C-H. And if anybody's interested in being a sponsor, we're always looking for sponsors, you can contact me on my website, verdeljones.com. Before we get into the show and I talk about what we're going to be talking about, I wanted to give you a little context to what Deli Teach actually is. Deli Teach Enterprises is my company. It's a LLC, and I kind of created it because I wanted to have an opportunity to share information with individuals and help individuals as well. So some of the things that we do at Deli Teach is we provide consultation services for college students and their parents, really just to help them navigate the educational process as a whole. So we do that. We also have a production company. So if you want to market your business or yourself, your company, organization, we also do that as well. So that's another thing we do. And also I speak on topics related to education, women in media. That's part of Deli Teach as well. So I'm excited to be here today. I wanted to tell you a little bit about Deli Teach because when people hear Deli Teach Enterprises or they hear Deli Teach, they really don't understand what that is. Basically, how I came up with the name is in high school, my nickname was Deli, and I'm a teacher, as I said in the beginning, and it was just Deli Teach, so Deli Teaches, basically. So that's what I kind of came up with. But let's forget all of that for right now. We have a great show. We're going to be talking about relationships. We're going to have a little fun, doing something a little bit different. We have a super special guest here today, and I've been begging Jeremiah to come to the show. And so, welcome everyone. And here we have Mr. Jeremiah Jones, and I'd like to thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me. It's great to make my debut, finally, on Conversations with Verdel Jones.
Well, let me
excited to be here.
Wait, let me just start off by saying when we got into the studio, Jeremiah sat next to me and he called himself the co-host. So I don't know if that's things to come or or this is just, you know.
Oh, here we go.
So we'll see what happens. We'll see how today goes, and then maybe I might invite him back to the show. But I'm so excited that Jeremiah finally agreed to be with me on the show. We have been talking about possibly doing something together. You know, well, we're going to talk about all that, but today we're going to talk about relationships.
Yes.
So the first thing I want to do is I like to give people a little bit of background. Why can we talk about relationships? And I think one of the reasons we can talk about relationships because we've been in one for a very long time. A long time. So I just want to go into a little bit about how we met.
Okay.
So do you want to tell the story or do you want me to tell the story?
No, I'll let you tell the story. I'll interject.
Okay.
You know, that's basically how we tell stories anyway.
I know. So I start and he finishes.
Yeah. When things go awry.
Right, because he has to sometimes control, you know, the situation.
Well, no, but
So Jeremiah and I met in high school. We have a couple of pictures. We met in high school. There's a graduation picture of us. When we met, well, no, let me take a step back.
Yeah.
The first time we met.
Yes. You weren't in high school.
I wasn't in high school. I was actually in.
You were in middle school.
I was in junior high school. They called it junior high school then. Right. And I was riding my bike. Because, like I said, it was junior high school.
I was in high school.
And he was in high school, and I was riding my bike to another friend's house, and I was with a friend that he knew.
Right, that was in my grade.
And she was in his grade, and we ran into each other. So what happened after that?
Well, basically, I saw you. I was coming one way, y'all were coming the other way, and I saw my friend, and you were with her, and we stopped. And, you know, hey, how you doing? What's been going on? What you doing? Whatever. me and her were talking. You were kind of, you know, to the back a little bit. You weren't right up there with us. You were to the back a little bit.
Right, I was checking you. I was, you know, seeing what you were about.
Had the screw face on, you know, like, oh, who was he? You know, and I know, I'm like, you know, who's your friend? What's the matter with her? You know what I'm saying? So we talked, whatever. We went on our way. Later, you came to the high school. I think that was the summer before you came to high school.
I think that was the summer before high school, yeah.
And we met mutual friends. We had a bunch of mutual friends.
Right.
And
he's a little older than me, just a little.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Okay. A year and some change.
A year, 2 years.
Yeah. Anyway, we got to know each other through mutual friends, and she was real cool. As a matter of fact, she was like the matchmaker, little Miss Matchmaker at high school. She actually tried to hook me up with one of her friends.
Right.
At one point, and we just became friends after that.
Right. So we became friends, and we're going to talk a little bit about you know, your spouse or your significant other being your best friend. So after that, we started talking. We were friends, and then we decided that we wanted to be boyfriend and girlfriend. I mean, basically that's what happened.
She pushed up on.
So we started dating. I was like in 9th grade, and he was in 11th grade.
Yeah, you were ahead of your time.
I was ahead of my time, and so we started dating.
Yeah.
And like I said, we dated in high school. Yes. We have I have my graduation picture. If we could show the graduation picture of me and Jeremiah back in the day. You know, so that was back in 1986.
Yeah.
And
look at that young man.
Right, I know. I was showing.
Many pounds ago.
Many pounds ago.
Yeah.
I was showing our daughter Maya the picture, and she says it's so weird to see us, you know, young like that. You know, yeah. Then we eventually got married. I mean, one of the things that, and we're going to talk a little bit or touch upon that is when we got married. Okay. So we got married. If we can show the wedding picture. We got married in 88. Right. So I graduated in 86, and we got married in 88. Right,
youngins.
We were really, really young when we got married. And, and so we got married. There's a picture of us in the backyard. This is like when we were first married. It's... we were pregnant with Marcus, I believe, at that time, our oldest. And, the interesting thing, when I look at this picture, this is, Jeremiah says he loves this picture. It's like, I look at us so, like we had no idea what we were doing. No,
winging it.
We were winging it.
Yeah, like
it was so funny. Like
finding our way.
Finding our way, and it was fine. So that's just a little back history, a little story of our journey. I mean, that's just the beginning. I mean, then we took, we're going to get a little bit into some of that. But one of the things that I really wanted to talk about was getting married so young. Okay. Like, do you think? And you're not going to be biased, but do you think we were too young to get married?
It's interesting that you asked that question because I look at it, I don't know, we might have had this discussion with either Marcus or Maya. Okay. I look at it now from the standpoint of a parent, right? Like, you were 19, I was like 20, going on 21.
Going on 21, right.
And if they were, both of Maya's about to be 21. Right. And Marcus is what, 25 now?
He'll be 25, yeah.
And it's like, if they were to come to me now, it'd be like, man. No. Yeah. But at that particular time, we wanted to be together. Right. We had a plan. The major thing is we had a plan. Right. You see a lot of people now, grown people.
Right.
That want to get married and they don't have a plan. We had a plan. I was already ready to go to join the Navy. You had already had what, a year or two of college already?
I graduated from SUNY Farmingdale. It was a 2-year school back then. And I graduated from there, and I had my degree, and then I was going on to get my bachelor's degree wherever you were going to be stationed.
Right. So we had a plan. I was, housing the whole bit. So mentally, I don't think we were too young because we knew we wanted to be together. We knew we loved each other, and we had a plan. It wasn't just, we weren't just winging it. Right. You know what I'm saying? We weren't going to get married and be in our parents' basement. Right. Type of deal with no jobs or something like that. So, a lot of people still, and looking on it now, our parents, they weren't 100%. They backed us, but they were like, Some people gave us strong feedback.
When we first got married, our parents were like, no. Yeah. Basically. But they finally, they came around because they knew, like you said, we had the plan in place. Right. We knew that this is what we wanted to do, and we made sure that there were no loopholes in our plan.
Right. Some people who remain nameless, they were like, What y'all gonna do? Where you gonna live? Right. You know, because they didn't know what we.
They didn't know that we had a plan.
We had a plan.
You know,
so in the sense of, were we too young? I mean, we were young.
Yeah.
But I mean, you think back in the day. I mean, people got married. You know.
Younger than that.
Younger than that, and stayed married 50 years or whatever. But it's all individual.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things about people when they get married young is the fact that people say you haven't experienced anything.
Right.
You haven't, like we tell our children.
Yeah, we did say that.
Do what you can. You have no responsibilities. You can do whatever you want at this point. So I think that's sometimes the reluctancy of people.
Right. How do you know you haven't experienced life? How do you know you want to be tied down the whole bit?
Yeah.
It's individual.
Right.
It's individual. You know, we here we are 30 years later, some odd years later,
right.
and, you know, we're still together. So.
Right. Exactly. So that brings me to my next point. You know, we've been married for 29 years. You know, it'll be 29 years this year. We've been together since '83. So that's 30. You know, dating. Right. So, you know, we've been, you know, married for and together for a long time. Yeah. And really what I want to kind of talk about is, like, how did we do it? What are some, you know, keys to not only staying together but being happy? And, you know, we're going to kind of talk about those things. Okay. You know, people say that marriage is very hard. It's hard work.
Right.
And we had this discussion before. You know, marriage is hard work, but should it be hard work?
No. See, this is what I think. I think you have to put in work, so to speak, to be married. But I don't think marriage should be. If being married is hard, then you shouldn't be married. If it's hard, why would you want to be in something for 30 years and it's hard?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to love the person. You got to love being around the person. You got to be friends first and foremost. Respect the whole bit. You know, the whole you know, cliche things. But as far as it being hard, I guess in the sense of you can't give up on certain things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to you have to fight through certain things. You have to really work. You do have to work at it.
You have to work. It's I'd rather say work than hard. Right.
Yeah.
You have to work through natural inclinations, because everybody's an individual. Yeah. You're coming into a union as an individual with your own, especially. Well, I mean, I wouldn't know. We got married young, but I would assume if you're older, coming in with your own mindset and your own ways.
But when you get married young, you still do that because you develop as a human being, and then what happens sometimes is people grow apart.
They grow apart. Yeah, that happens. That happens.
So
that's where the work comes.
That's where the work comes.
Yeah, that's where the hard part comes. Right. Do I want to stay here? Do I want to stay in this relationship? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So and that's tricky.
It's tricky, but you gotta, you know, you bob and weave. You do, you know, you do what you gotta do. You do, you know, every day. You just take it a day at a time. You take it a day at a time and do what you got to do to make it to that next situation. See,
but by you saying you take it a day at a time, it really does seem like it's a lot of work. One day at a time.
One day at a time. I'll get there.
I'll get
through this. One day no, I don't mean it like that. I mean, you can't, I mean, you know, what am I going to, you know, what are you going to say? Well, look, you have to plan a future. Right. But you got to live in the moment, I guess I should say, more so than one day at a time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not one day at a time as far as it being, you know.
Being treacherous.
Yeah, being treacherous.
Right, exactly.
If you're with the person that you want to be with, it should not be treacherous. It shouldn't be work. If it's work, then, you know.
Right.
It's time.
Maybe you need to do something a little bit different.
Abort.
Abort.
Pull out. Because it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse.
Especially,
I think.
Yeah, but you know, one of the other things too is when you're talking about the work, you know, sometimes the work is one-sided.
Yeah, right.
You know, so you have to be able to work together.
Work together, then, or both work.
Or both work. Sometimes somebody wants to work and then somebody doesn't want to work.
I don't know, it was a movie or something they was talking about. You know, it's not always going to be 50-50.
Right.
Right. Sometimes it's 70-30, sometimes it's 60-40, sometimes it's 80-20.
Yeah.
But somebody got to at least give a 5%, 95-5, you know, 90-10, and then it switches. It
switches.
Moves.
It's a pendulum.
Ooh.
Yeah, okay, I know, right?
Okay. She said it's a pendulum. See, I learned that type of stuff, you know, being on dailyteach.com. You know. So, it's as long as you both are putting in some sort of work in the relationship. I mean, because, you know, people, you know, it's give and take. People fluctuate in their moods and how they feel.
So true.
So you gotta, you know, it's like, A pendulum. Pendulum.
Right.
Yeah, waves or whatever. But yeah, you guys, it's just as long as both of you guys are putting in some sort of
it's a commitment
to the relationship.
And you know what? Even in, like, we've been married for 29 years, so we're speaking from that perspective. But I think with individuals who are, you know, who are dating or in a committed relationship, let's say, have a significant other, it's the same thing. You know, I think just marriage is just another layer of, you know, of a commitment, but it's the same thing. You know, one of the things also you always hear is, you know, that the cliche that communication is key. Right. I remember when we got married, everyone is like, oh, communication is key in a relationship. It's key in a relationship. And I'm like, yeah, it sounded so cliche because I don't think I really absorbed what
didn't
that
understand
meant.
it at all.
Yeah,
and I could clearly remember hearing that.
Always.
You know, communication, keep the lines of communication, that type of thing. And you hear and it's like, But I didn't know, you know, young and I know, but I mean, you know, you understand it now.
Yes.
And it's so, so, so important, you know, as far as communication. And I see communication as you have to let the other person in the relationship know what's going on with you. When you store stuff and bottle it up and don't say how you feel and don't let your true feelings be known, that's to me it's a recipe for disaster, because at some point it's going to come out at some point in some way.
Right. And it might not be good.
And it might 9 times out of 10 it's not going to be good. Whether it's, you know, going outside the relationship, whether it's just blowing up. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be good. So you got to, you know, give the. And also, too, I think with the whole communication thing is to give. It's not fair because you know, you got to give the other person a chance.
Yeah, to correct behaviors, or acknowledge what you're feeling.
Right. So you can't be mad. You didn't say nothing the whole time. You sitting there upset about something or feeling a certain type of way, and they never knew. You just think, you know, and it's a lot of this. A lot of this happens in terms of you should know how I'm feeling.
Right. No, I don't. I'm not a mind reader.
Nah.
Right. Exactly.
You know, you should know. You should know I feel this way. Oh, you know, you should know that I don't like.
Oh yeah, I played that game for a long time.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm speaking out, you know, as far as females and males, but you know, I would think that a lot of females play that. I don't want to say play it, but that's their type of situation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, play that situation with men. And this is the thing, though.
Okay.
Men, let me tell you something about men. Pull my Steve Harvey card. No, not at all.
No.
But we are basic creatures.
Oh, yeah. Very simple.
Simple. If you want me to know something,
you got to
tell me.
Well, you know what? It's just like when you send your husband or your spouse to the store to pick up groceries.
I need a list.
A picture. I need 14.
I don't need a picture.
No. I need 14 ounces of this. I mean, you have to be so specific because that's just the way I think men operate. And I learned that.
You gotta be specific. Tell me what you want. Don't put it out there vague. Well, nah. Tell me what you want. If you want a specific brand of something, if you want a specific, tell me I need blah blah blah.
Or if I want to be treated a certain way.
Right. Right. Exactly. And we say that. I say that after 29 years of marriage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I know in a relationship, you know, just starting out or in the early years, you have to communicate. As far as I'm concerned, that's what communication is. A lot of that. You know what I'm saying? Letting the person know how you feel, and men also, you know. And I've been you know, privy to do this also on the men's side as far as keeping stuff in, not saying
not saying anything.
You know what I'm saying? Just just bottling it up, not saying, you know, this is how I feel, this is what I think, whatever. And
so what was the shift for you in being able to do that? Because I think there is a shift. I think there was a shift in the relationship that kind of made it okay for us to really share what we're feeling.
I think in our relationship, I mean, it's different, you know? Maybe different for different people, different things. I think in our relationship, it came after the dark years. Yeah. You know, just like any couple, we went through our stuff, you know.
Right.
We go through our stuff, but we went through our stuff heavy and fought through it, came out of it, And out of that,
yeah, definitely,
came a new want to communicate more. You know what I'm saying? As far as to really let you know how I felt, and I think vice versa.
And vice versa, yeah, definitely. Because I remember, there'd be times you would ask me, "Well, what's wrong? What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Nothing."
Yeah. What's going on?
Nothing.
Nothing. I'm okay. I'm all right.
I'm okay.
When doggone well, the energy in the room, it's like we can you can sense that something's going on. You come in the house, it'd be a perfect day. Yeah, it'd be a perfect day. You know what I'm saying? Day's going right. We doing this, things around the house, shop, whatever.
Having a good old time.
Having a good old time, and all of a sudden, bam! The energy in the room looks different. What's going on? Nothing. Oh, for real? So, back in the day, I'd be like, and then I go in my little room or go downstairs or whatever, and then the whole rest of the days would
be messed up.
It'd be messed up.
Right.
Mess the rest of the day up.
Right.
Now I don't let that happen. I pester. I'm like, what's going on? What's up?
Right. But the thing is, too, and we just had this discussion where, Jeremiah will think that there's something wrong. Like, I'll have an attitude, and I'll admit it. And then he'll say what's wrong, and I'm like, and I'll tell him, and then he thinks I'm holding it. And we just had this conversation.
Yeah. I said, you weren't.
And I'm not. If I say, and you have to listen, if I say I am good, there is no residual anything, I'm good. Yeah. You gotta I believe it. It's not. I'm fine.
Well, see, but I'm so traumatized from the past, from it not being good. You know what I'm saying? This is new. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get accustomed to being able to shift.
Yeah, I can because you know what? I'm a big cognitive behavioral person. I believe that the thoughts that you can control how you react to certain things.
That's the only thing you can control.
Right.
And that's
exactly.
That's the real.
Yeah.
In a relationship, and I think we found that out too.
Yes.
The only thing you can control in the relationship is you.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can't make a person do what they don't want to do.
No, you can't.
You can't.
Oh Lord, you can't.
No, you can't.
That's a disaster.
What's that? Bonnie Raitt. I can't make you love me.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It's so true. It's so true.
And so the only thing you can control is you and how you respond and how you feel about things. Right. So I mean, that's something to keep in mind. So.
Yeah. The word compromise in a relationship is also something that is an interesting topic.
Okay.
And just over this past Mother's Day weekend, we kind of talked a little bit about compromising, and Jeremiah came up with something really good in reference to compromising when we were talking to someone about it, and I don't remember tell them about because you had referred to the Cosby Show episode.
Well,
and what Bill Cosby said. Well, what Dr. Huxtable said to one of the characters on the show, Elvin.
In reference to compromise, in a relationship, my feelings are, you can't be in a long-lasting relationship and expecting to win every battle or be right about everything. If you want to be right all the time, it's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? Certain things
Right, and that was...
you got to fall back.
you got to fall back.
So you may want to be like, nah, but... you got to fall back because it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth the argument. 9 times out of 10, it's not worth the argument.
9 times out of 10. You're right. Maybe 9.5 times out of 10 it's not worth the argument.
So okay, so you and first of all, you're not right all the time anyway.
Well,
yeah. And there's that. But see, you got to know when to fall back. See, I'm on her show, so
he has to fall back.
I got to fall back. But seriously, compromise. You have to compromise. You got to be able to let the other person in the relationship, and did we have a problem? I mean, I don't think we necessarily had a problem with that, but there's been times, with compromising. And compromising is a lot of things. I mean, as far as me and you, we're good partners as far as getting things done.
Right.
When it comes down to getting things done, when it came to the kids, when it comes to the house, boom, boom, boom. We you know what I'm saying? As far as doing what we got to do for the kids, anything got to do with the house, taking care of, we're on it.
Right.
As far as compromising in terms of the relationship, in terms of me and you, What would you say?
I think like we knew how to pick we know how to pick our battles.
Oh, no question.
And I think the longer that we've been in the relationship, the more that we're just like, that's just who he is. Right. That's who she is. And I'm not going to change how she...
wife, happy life. Fella, just remember that. Happy
Repeat
wife,
after me.
Happy life. If you want a calm, peaceful household with no issues, I'm a drama-free type of dude.
Very drama-free.
I don't need no drama, so...
Drama doesn't affect us too well.
No.
Does it? Yeah, but exactly. So I learned that, you know, that's a big thing when it comes to compromise too. It's the changing.
Right.
You know, a lot of people get into the idea, and they say that they understand that they can't change somebody, but they really don't understand that they can't change somebody.
Yeah.
And I think compromise does have to do a little bit with that, because in our situation, it became where I know that this is who, you know, Jeremiah is. He knows this is who I am, and there's certain things that you're just going to have to deal with.
Yeah, a lot of people...
They're not going to change.
Right, no, they go into a relationship. I don't know if they consciously think it, but they think, you know, I'm gonna change this person, or I'm gonna, you know.
It won't happen.
It won't happen.
It won't happen.
It won't happen. I mean, certain things, you know, you mature, you grow.
Yeah.
But as far as the core essence of who a person is,
doesn't change.
It don't change.
Yeah.
You know, it don't change.
And but even little things like, you don't do this, but like, you know, leaving, I probably do this more than you, leaving my shoes downstairs or leaving my socks in the, you know, family room. There was a point where you would say, you know, you wouldn't say it, but I know you want me to pick them up. No. But
the laundry basket.
The laundry basket, exactly. So now it's a point where it's like, why am I arguing over something that's so silly?
Right, so
you
trivial.
know, so trivial, exactly.
Right. So I don't mind if you leave the laundry basket just sitting right in the middle of the room anymore. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's where you want it. And you know what I'm saying? I fall back and...
It's because it's not a big deal. You know, it really isn't. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah. But compromise and letting things go, learning how to let things go. But also with that is, I think it's a conscious effort. Okay. If you're not that type of person, I think you really have to take a step back and say, you know what, I'm going to let this go. But you have to be conscious of it. And you have to say it to yourself.
You might have to.
You might have to say it to yourself.
You might have to give yourself some cues, because some people just aren't built like that.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
They don't. That's like, nah, I can't do that. So,
right. So you have to. You know, I think that's really important. You know, we talked a little bit about, you know, the hard times, and we refer to those difficult times as you want to do it with me? Dark years. The dark years, right, do the air quotes. So, and we, like you said, we were able to get through it, we were able to get past it. How were we, and this ties into something else, how do you think we were able to get past the dark years and come out in a different place?
I think for us, it was a situation of, at the core of our relationship, we were friends, and we respected each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? I see, you know, certain relationships go bad, and to me, it seems that they really didn't like each other. Never mind the love, they really didn't like each other.
Right.
And regardless of what happened between me and you, we liked each other.
Right.
I didn't want to disrespect you. You didn't want to disrespect me. So there was something there that we could build on to bring back together. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because if you just don't give a damn about the person, which maybe
some people don't.
The situation. Some people
don't. Exactly.
And they'll do anything.
Right.
We weren't going to do anything.
No.
We weren't going to go to any level.
We weren't going to go to any level. And the thing is about that too, you know, it's funny that you mentioned that, because there were situations where it was like, well, how could you, you know, people, how could you be that way? How could you be
asking you?
Yeah, asking me.
Right.
How could you be that thoughtful or caring or whatever? Yeah, whatever it may be. Not in a bad way.
No, but just wondering.
Just in a curious way. Like, how is that even possible?
It's because of that.
Exactly. So the friendship piece is really really important. And we started off by saying when we first met, we were friends.
Right, we were friends. And then that grew, you know. So,
yeah. I mean, even in the dark years, I still liked you.
Right. I remember one time I came, you know, I was at the house and I don't know, taking the kids somewhere or something, and the Roots had just came out with one of the, I don't know what album it was.
Right.
And, I was playing it for you.
Right, exactly.
And it was that fire.
It was that, yeah.
And we were both sitting there like, we were like vibing to the, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
it was that
separated.
Yeah,
still,
separated.
You know.
But still like, ooh, that's hot.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, people, you know what I'm saying, when they going, you know, separated, mad at each other, not dealing, they're not doing that.
No.
Some.
It depends. It depends on what the foundation is. Right. You know, so that brings us to like our next topic.
The best friend.
The best friend thing. So there's a couple of pictures of me and Jeremiah, you know, just having fun. We, you know, one of the things that, you know, we had talked about, or I think we posed a question is, you know, do you have to be best friends? So if we could show the me and Jay funny picture, this is we took this picture actually at a wedding, and you know how they have the photo booths at a wedding. We took this picture there, and we just thought this was the best picture ever. So Jeremiah had it blown up. It's like in our house, and that really shows like kind of our personality, you know. And I thought it was just a lot of fun. We also have a picture of us at the beach, and you know, that was a fun day. That was a fun day. And the thing just to show that those pictures is just that we really enjoy each other's company, you know. Right. I think we enjoy each other's company. And you know, the best friend, do you have to be your spouse's best friend? Best friend. We're friends. We're good friends. Mm-hmm. But are we best friends?
Okay. So all right, for me, there's a couple of pieces to this.
Yeah.
Do you have to be your spouse's or significant other's best friend? I'd say no.
Okay.
I consider you my best friend only because of the situation that I'm in.
Mm-hmm. Right.
In terms of like, because I don't really have a bunch of partners that I hang out with like when I was younger.
Yeah.
And you're my friend, you're my best friend. You know what I'm saying? We laugh, we joke, we go out, we hang out, whatever. So I would consider you my best friend only because of that situation. Now, other guys, they may have partners that they hang with regularly, and I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't necessarily think. Now, mind you, I'm not trying to go with you to go, you know, clothes shopping or nothing like that.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Nor do I want you to go clothes shopping.
Torture.
With me. There was a time when I wanted Jeremiah to come with me, and I used to trick him, like, "Oh, let's go to the mall," and like pretend I wasn't going to do any shopping, and he fell for it every time. Now I'm like, bye, see you later. I'm going to the mall, and I go by myself.
Right, because you know where I end up? Right in them chairs where all the other fellas is, you know what I'm saying, sitting, waiting on my phone or whatever, waiting for her. But in any case, so that's what you do with, you know, with your...
Right, with your friends, exactly. Your friends. You know what, can you show, I did an article, there's a screenshot of an article that I wrote, and it talks about, what does it say? I married my best friend. It was in Black Bridal Bliss on the blog, and one of the things that I said in the in the article was that I think there's certain lanes. Like we are best friends. I do consider Jeremiah my best friend. I tell him, you know, he knows everything about me. He knows, you know, he just knows everything about me, and we have that best friend relationship. But the thing is, in reference to him being my best friend, I know there's certain limitations. I know there's certain things that you're not going to do. One of the things that you're not going to do is you're not going to go with me to eat at a restaurant that has small plates. No. You know, you're not going to go wine tasting.
I'm a grown-ass man.
He's a grown-ass man. He's not going to do that. So
I need a regular plate.
He needs a regular plate.
I ain't eating on no plate. I ain't eating on no plate like that.
You can get a bunch of little plates.
Then I look crazy.
That's the whole point of it.
To look crazy?
No. to have different varieties. But anyway, I say that to say that he's not going to do certain things with me, and I'm totally cool with that. Yeah. I'm fine with that. I know that now. Because he can't be, I don't think anybody is everything to you.
No, and nor should
you know what I mean? Like
right, yeah. No, I understand that.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to say it in like, you know, like I don't want to use cliche again, but in cliche terms, yeah, he's everything to me. Right. But there's certain things that, you know, you need to have friends. I need my girls to do that, right? I need my CVs. So, you know, there's certain things that I think are, you know, spouse, and certain things that your girl. Now, I'm in the same situation. I don't have a lot of friends really here, you know, and I don't hang out with a lot of people as well. So we kind of hang out with our family. Right. We hang out with each other. Right. You know, and that's really kind of our. What makes our situation? Yeah, I guess a little different, or just our situation. Our situation, right? Exactly. Everybody's situation is different. Is a little bit different, yeah, but so I think it's important to be. But do they have to be your best friend? No, they can be. They don't. They can be, but they don't have to be. No. But if you're saying a best friend, so like I tell you everything, you know, everything that's going on with me, but there might not be some things that I do say that just because you're not interested. Well, it all depends on what your definition of best friend is too. Right, you know, what you consider a best friend. Right. I mean, it is a little tricky, but I think you should have a relationship where you're open and where you're sharing and all that. No question. Yeah. You should be able to talk to your spouse like a best friend. Right. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you think, because, you know, your best friend, so say outside of your spouse, your best friend, you'll tell your best friend just about everything, right? Right. Even what's going on in your relationship. Right. So would you tell your spouse everything that's going on with you? Should you tell your spouse everything that's going on with you? I learned, yes, I learned the hard way that my friends who I might be telling things that's going on in our relationship, they're not going to be able to help me. The only person that's really going to be able to help me is you. Right. You know, why am I telling them? They ain't going to fix it. They can't, you know, they can't do anything about it. Well, they can listen to me. They can listen to me. Advices? Can they give me advice? They can give me advice, but first of all, I'm not going to listen because I really don't listen. Yeah. I'm going to do what I want to do. You're going to do what you want to do anyway. So. I don't listen. You remember, I didn't listen. No. Because, you know, and that always, to me, is kind of funny where women will go to other women to help them solve their problems with men. How do they know? They're not men. Right. You know, go to a man or your spouse or whatever it is. Right. Sometimes those women are women that don't have men. Right. That's right. Why are you talking to her? She don't know. She doesn't know. She has no idea. Yeah, exactly. That's true. That's really true. But anyway. Oh, that's funny. I digress. Oh, you digress. All right, so we put up on Facebook a question in reference to romance. Because I love talking romance, right? And we talked about romance before we left the house yesterday. We talked about it. But one of the definition of romance is a feeling of excitement and mystery associated with love. Ooh. Now I don't know if that's really the case. That's what romance is? That's what it said and when I Googled it, right? Okay. So what I did was I put up on Facebook, what is your definition of romance? And here's what some people said. Stephanie said that it could be her home relaxing with the husband, you know, watching him cook or laughing together in the kitchen and talking. But she gave also a scenario, which I thought was fabulous. He cut fresh flowers from his garden, and he has a garden, right? So he cut fresh flowers from his garden, and he put the fresh flowers in vases all around the house. So in every single room, there was a vase of these fresh flowers from his garden. So when she woke up to these, you know, she woke up to all of these flowers around the house. Hold on. Why are you putting this out there like that? You know what I mean? You're making me look bad. I mean, I'm just saying, this was, I thought, and she said she has never forgotten this. I thought that was fabulous. I mean, come on, you have to. No, that's hot. That's right. You know, I give that's you like that, right? Like okay, that. Okay. Think on that. So Alicia said that romance is whatever you and your partner feel good about doing and sharing. It's intimacy at its finest. And Todd said it can be running errands together. My man, Todd. That's my man. Todd is my man.
Alicia and Todd, shout out to them. One of my favorite couples.
Who've been married or together forever, too.
Yeah.
So, what is your, like, what do you think romance is?
Ooh, that's heavy. See, I don't know. Full disclosure, I don't necessarily think I'm the most romantic person. I don't. But I think romance, to me, I do things for you. Mm-hmm. I guess I can consider that romantic. In other words, I think about you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whether it's, I don't know, coming home with something you like, going out to get something, you know, picking up something to eat for dinner that you like, or or I don't know, doing things around the house for you, or whatever the case may be. Things like that, I consider. I don't know. See, because you have in your mind the whole cliche.
We
definition
use cliche
of romance,
a lot, right? Yeah.
The whole of romance.
And what that actually is. Because I'm thinking rose petals.
Yeah.
And,
see,
you know.
I mean, I guess you could do that.
Right.
I don't necessarily do that. I guess I should.
This is what romance is to me.
Oh, here we go. See, I knew this question was gonna get me. You know what I'm saying? I was fretting this one, but no.
I think it's. I like what you said. It is when you're thinking about your significant other. Mm-hmm. Like, I know that you think about me, you know, during the day. Right. You know, we all have jobs and things like that, but you're thinking about me. I'll send a text. You'll send a text.
Right.
You know, just something to let you know that you're thought of.
We always joke about, you know, hot date at Costco, like when we go to Costco.
It's the best. I get dressed up and everything. When I go to work and I'm fancy, and it's usually like on a Friday we go, you know, my coworkers will say, "Are you going to Costco? Do you have a hot date?" Because that's what we do.
That's date night.
That's date night.
Strolling around, tasting the little, you know what I'm saying, little
samples.
Cheeses and samples and stuff, you know. Get a little sundae when we done.
That's
you
right.
Know,
that's right. That
sundae,
really tops it off.
And we good. But no, I mean, romance to me, it's what you make it. Whatever it is between you and your significant other.
Right.
If you think that's romantic, then that's romantic. You can. I mean, I don't know. What was you had asked before? I think. Do you think it's a learned behavior, or do you?
Right. Is it? In other words, is romance a learned behavior, or is it something that you just got? And Gwen had kind of, I asked her that question, and Gwen had said on Facebook that she thinks it is a learned behavior because you experience it and you want it again. You like the results. You like the actions of what happens after you do that romantic act.
Right. I think certain people are romantically inclined. I think that can be. Some people just have that naturally, and I think it can be learned. I'm still learning after 29 years how to be more. But, you know, and it's not from, see, and that's the whole other thing, too, when you think of romance. It's not for lack of caring or loving a person.
No.
It's just an innate, like, being, you know.
So then sometimes it's not a learned behavior then.
Well, it depends on how much pressure is put on you, know what I'm saying, to learn it. You know what I mean? You're right.
Rose petals.
Oh, man.
And this is the thing, too.
They got to be cleaned up after. You know,
right, who's going to clean them up? So the thing is, like, you know, because we were talking about romance, like, what do you think romance is, and what do you think is the most romantic thing you've done for me, and vice versa. So my idea of romance, you know, I kid about the flowers, you know, the rose petals, but you know, it is a level of intimacy that I think can be considered romance as well. Like Alicia said, intimacy, you know. Right. One of the things that I thought was romantic, and I thought, but see, I think I get confused with romance and surprising.
Well, I think one of your definitions of romance that you put out there is doing things.
Is doing things, right.
That you don't expect.
Doing things you don't expect.
So to you, that's a romantic thing. If you don't expect it, you know.
I like set up an evening. Set up some type of.
Like if you don't think that I'm coming home, like I come home with a nice salad and a bottle of wine for you, you know, because I know that's your favorite. You know what I'm saying? You didn't expect it.
Now that, well, you know like, what? Hey, that's romantic.
You understand? I'm in there. But I'm just.
That'll do it. That'll do it. Yeah, that'll do it.
I know. I got to step. I still, after, like I said, after all this time, I can step my game up a little.
Yeah, it's just, you know, because once it starts like a cycle, you know, it starts a cycle. Once you do something romantic, I do something romantic, it just starts a cycle, and it just builds up a little excitement within a relationship, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, you know, I think it's important.
Note to self.
Oh. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about is honesty and trust. And this one is very interesting, an interesting conversation and discussion. We're going to talk just about social media. So there's a couple of pictures that I thought kind of spoke to this a little bit. There's the one where Beyonce is looking at Jay-Z's phone. So she's trolling his, you know, what he's doing on his probably social media, texting.
A fella seen that look before.
Or whatever. And then the next one is this one I love because we've had this discussion before. I would like your pics, the way my relationship is set up. Yeah. So we've had this conversation in reference to liking things on social media and that trust thing. You know, do you think it's okay to troll your spouse's social media?
Or significant others.
Or significant others' social media.
Now, when you say troll, what do you mean? Go on it and see who they're liking and who they're, you know.
Yes.
Well, I know it's different now because I know, not unless you're on their page, I think it's different. I remember when Facebook first came out, you could see when somebody liked somebody else's thing. I think they changed that, didn't they?
No, you can see if I see something and we have a mutual friend.
You got to have a mutual friend.
You have to have a mutual friend.
But no, back in the day, I think when it first came out, you didn't have to.
No,
you could see what a person liked.
Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah, if you have a mutual friend and you see like.
Yeah. What's the answer?
Oh. What's the question again? What's the question again?
Should you troll your significant other's social media?
I don't think you should troll it in the sense of you purposefully going to look to see what they're liking.
Right.
But if you come across it, it is what it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So
and I don't think I should have to worry about liking a picture. I mean, obviously, I shouldn't be liking inappropriate pictures either.
And you shouldn't. And you shouldn't be liking the same person's.
Oh well, then
pictures.
Well, see. Then you kind of, you know, you off the game. You sitting there liking the same person's picture every time they throw something up.
You liking it.
Yeah, you know.
You better inbox them.
Wow, you are out of control. I need to troll your medias. But nah, your social media feed.
But I think with social media, it's so... Because like say for example, you're in a new relationship and you see that the person you're with is liking somebody's stuff. You're gonna be like, well, who is this woman?
Right. No, like I said, you shouldn't outwardly go out there looking. But I mean, if you just in the span of you going through your timeline on a daily basis and you just seeing that man, Brian is steady liking on Tanisha's page. Right. I mean, come on now. And then it has to be addressed.
Right.
But to me, Facebook, man, I mean, Facebook is a gift and a curse. I love Facebook.
Right.
And I know you love Facebook now. Back in the day,
I didn't want nothing to do with it.
And I know some people, but I love Facebook in the sense of, I mean, where else? It's so crazy. We're in people from all aspects of my life, from my family to friends in the military, to friends in, some people have friends in college, where you can all converse on one platform. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
That you connect with people that you haven't talked to since you were, since you were a kid.
Exactly.
Family members. I like being able to converse with my family members. We wouldn't talk as much as we do without Facebook.
Right.
It's almost daily that I'm talking to cousins that I have down
cool.
south and, in different places, which is cool. So I love Facebook. But in terms of relationship-wise, I mean, Facebook, in terms of relationship, it's just another means. If somebody's going to be out there doing something, this is just an easier means for them to do it. That's all. If they're not, then they're not going to be, so there's no need to really be trolling or anything like that. But I mean, there's some Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Instagram's crazy because all it is pictures.
It's all pictures, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So,
so we are out of time, and I just want to say that I really had a good time with you on the show.
I had a good time too. This was fun. This was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yep,
so I want to thank everybody for watching.
Wait.
Yes.
Before we go, before we go, I just want to say publicly that I am so proud of this woman. The work that she is doing with her parent agent, the Deli Teach, the show, with our kids. She's a wonderful wife. I love her. And she's doing an outstanding job. All right? Let's round of applause for Verdel Jones. Strong. No, seriously though. Yeah, I'm proud of you and all the things you're doing. So
thank you, sweetheart.
I just want to say that. So.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do your close out.
Thank you. So thank you for watching Conversations with Verdel Jones. And remember, in the words of Maya Angelou, when you learn, teach, and when you get, give. Have a good one.
Peace.